Federal government ignores Senate, begins visa on arrival policy for Africans. Despite the objection raised by the Senate and reservations expressed by some Nigerians about its visa on arrival policy for Africans, the federal government has commenced the implementation of the new visa regime. Sunday Punch findings reveal that the visa on arrival policy commenced on January 1st as planned. Also, the Nigeria Immigration Service has deployed a new border management security system in 4 airports across the country. The President, Major General Muhammad Buhari, retired on December 11, 2018 at the Aswan Forum for Sustainable Peace and Development in Africa in Cairo, Egypt, announced the visa on arrival policy for Africans, saying, "We in Nigeria have already taken the strategic decision to bring down barriers that have hindered the free movement of our people within the continent by introducing the issuance of visa at the point of entry into Nigeria to all persons holding passports of African countries with effect from January 2020, the president said. But the announcement was greeted with criticisms by many Nigerians who believe the policy might worsen the security challenges facing the country. The Senate also, on December 17, 2019, summoned the Minister of Interior, Mr. Rauf Aregbesola, and the Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Mohammed Babandede, to brief them on the policy. The resolution was sequel to a motion sponsored by the senator representing Ekiti North, Olubunmi Adetunbi, when he drew the attention of his colleagues to the fact that the executive did not carry the legislature along before coming up with the policy. Adetunbi is also the chairman, Senate Committee on National Planning. Adetunbi, in his lead debate, argued that the executive did not seek necessary amendments to extant laws by the National Assembly before the policy would become operational. The Senate Minority Leader, Eyinaya Baribe, in his contribution, had said Nigerians were worried about the policy because of a spate of insecurity in the country caused by some foreigners coming in. He said, "We want to make sure that we take care of our citizens before we start taking care of the whole Africa," he added. Senator Gabriel Swaswam also said that since the president made a policy statement, it is now incumbent on him as president to also direct the necessary authorities to bring the Immigration Act for us to amend. On his part, Senator Abba Moro, who is a former Minister of Interior, said when international agreements were entered into by Nigeria, they should be properly domesticated to give them a bite of legality and legitimacy. Meanwhile, Senator Jibrin Barau has called on the National Assembly to provide legal backing to the policy, adding that the visa on arrival policy is being practiced in developed countries and that it could open a country's economy to emerging markets and investment opportunities. In his remarks after the debate, the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, called on the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, to forward all treaties and agreements entered into by the federal government to the National Assembly for ratification. Lawan therefore threw the matter up for votes, and a majority of the senators voted against the policy. But findings by Sunday Punch on Saturday showed that the Immigration Service had begun the implementation of the policy. It was further learned that a border management technology known as the Immigration Information Data Analysis System had been activated at all the international airports before the commencement of the policy. They include the Mursala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, and Port Harcourt International Airport. The MIDAS collects, processes, stores, and analyzes migrant information in real time across the border network and provides a strong statistical base for security, migration policy, and planning. It automatically captures travelers' biographic and biometric data through the use of document readers, webcams, and fingerprint readers for the purpose of identification, authenticating travel documents, and collecting and analyzing data of migrant information in real time across the border new network. Before a traveler arrives at a border crossing point, the MIDAS is able to check incoming advanced passenger information data against international alert list from the International Police Organization and other security agencies. Meanwhile, the NIS has also posted necessary information on the revised visa process on its website to guide prospective applicants. It described the facility as a class of short visit visa issued at the airport of entry to frequently traveled high net worth investors and intending visitors who may not be able to obtain the visas at the Nigerian missions and embassies in their countries of residence due to the absence of a Nigerian mission in those countries or exigencies of urgent business travels. Intending visitors are required to obtain a visa approval letter before proceeding to Nigeria. The INS post read in part. Visa approval letter is a document approved by the Nigerian Immigration Service headquarters that allows a traveler to proceed to Nigeria to pick up entering visa at the point of entry. Visa approval letter normally takes 2 working days to process and emailed to you and your representative or contact who applied on your behalf in Nigeria through email, or your representative or contact in Nigeria. Visa on arrival is not valid for employment or residence. Applicants are required to have a passport with 6 months validity period and were expected to proceed to the visa on arrival section for approval verification, biometric enrollment, and issuance of entry visa upon arrival at the port of entry. The applicant will be required to present their approval letter, passport, evidence of payment, evidence of accommodation in Nigeria, and return ticket. Spokesperson for the NIS DCI Sunday, James, told one of our correspondents in Abuja on Saturday that the service personnel were ready to implement the visa policy as directed by the federal government. He stated, at the point of entry, biometric capture is carried out by the MIDAS, a technological tool that collects the data of migrants with iris facilities for facial capture apart from the fingerprint for a 2-step security verification process. All NIS personnel working at our service windows, especially at the entry and exit points, have requisite knowledge of the visa policy and service direction using the criteria for security, economy, and transparency as a foolproof measure. Currently operational in countries across Africa, Asia, and the Americas, the MIDAS was designed to be compliant with the International Civil Aviation Organization and the International Organization for Standardization. Speaking during the installation of the MIDAS at the Abuja airport in November last year, the Controller General of Immigration said that the system would curb transnational crimes. Meanwhile, there are strong indications that Aregbesola and Baban Dede may address the Senate on the visa on arrival policy in February. A senator who spoke with one of our correspondents on the issue of the condition of anonymity, however, said the Red Chamber would go ahead with its plan to summon them. The source, who is a member of the Senate Committee on Interior, explained on Saturday that the resolution of the legislators to summon Aregbesola and Babandede to appear before them at plenary was taking 2 days to the start of the Christmas break before the National Assembly. The source said its visa on arrival policy is a sensitive issue that must be carefully handled by the Senate before we give our approval. We would not do anything before we proceeded. We could not do anything before we proceeded on the Christmas break, but considering the importance of the matter, we will start taking steps to address it when we resume on January 28th. The Joint Committees on Interior and Judiciary will meet and conclude arrangements on how to ensure that the Minister and the Immigration CG brief the Senate so that we could take an informed decision. on the issue. All things being equal, the two of them should brief us on the issue by February latest. Lawyers, especially senior advocates of Nigeria who spoke with Sunday's Punch on Saturday, were divided over whether the visa on arrival policy needed an approval of the National Assembly. A son, Sebastian Honorable, said the president lacked the power to begin the implementation of the visa on arrival policy without it being first enacted into law by the National Assembly. Honorable said the implementation of the policy without the parliamentary validation through the making of a law would amount to usurping the powers of the National Assembly. So guys, to cut the long story short, the federal government has commenced the policy of a visa on arrival, and there's this debate that they ought to have consulted the National Assembly, and according to what happened before now, I think before Christmas break, they voted, and majority of them they voted against that policy, but federal government still went ahead to implement it, and it has already commenced. So guys, we don't know what is going to happen, because they say they're going to call the Minister of Interior Aregbesola and the other man Bambandede also by February to come and explain again. But since they have started it again, so I don't know what they are going to do, whether they are going to stop it. But there's division among the lawyers and especially the senior advocates of Nigeria. Some are of the opinion that the president has the right. Some are saying no, he ought to have carried the legislature along, or so that they will enact it before going or embarking on that. But I don't know why the federal government is so in a hurry to do this kind of a thing. This thing was just announced in this December, some weeks back, and now they have started the whole thing. But the things that Nigerians will be crying for, they will not do it. It will take forever. You can imagine the case of a minimum wage. It's more than a year now. They are still on it. They started before the election, which was December 2019, because 2018, because 2019 was coming then for them to do election. So they were trying to impress the NLC, impress the workers, and at the end of the day, everybody thought, oh, everything will be sealed, and the workers will start smiling. But up till now, they are still dragging, they are still pussyfooty. Some states say, oh, they will start. Some say they are not going to start, and all of that. We don't know where it is. But when it comes to what they really have in mind, it does not take them time. That is when you not hear all of those bureaucracy and so. But since they've started the whole thing, let's see what will come out of the whole thing. Since they are going to meet with the Minister of Interior by February, but since the deed has been done, do you think anything is going to happen again? Because they know what they are looking for. And some people, even before now, they were like, okay, why would the president go to Egypt and be announcing that kind of a thing? People have not even heard about it. It was there. He made that announcement that there will be visa on arrival policy by January. And before you could say Jack Robinson, even when National Assembly disagreed, they still went ahead to do that. So guys, let's hear your own take with this rush. Please leave your comment below. Thank you very much. Bye.